Hi friends! I am so excited for this video. So Rapunzel recently re-released, and in some cases released for the first time, new staff kits. So this includes redos of some old ones, new kits for new staff, for people who just haven't had a kit before. And so over on the Rapunzel community Facebook group, the mods put out a challenge for people to create their own kits and put together looks with them. So if you follow me over on Instagram, you have already seen I put together a handful of kits because I couldn't make up my mind which of them I liked best, and I put it up for a vote, which people wanted to see me do the most or do first. And so that is what this video is. This is a little kit that I put together, and I am going to be showing, in this video, I'm going to be showing 3 looks. And so the scarves that I've selected for my kit are the Leaves Them Guessing in blue and orange, the Sparklelicious in Exotic Spice, an Israeli Tickle in navy with gold threads, and a Sari Sash in green. And then along with that, I am also going to be using this super cute infinity clasp accessory. So if you have been paying close attention, if you have been following me for a little bit, you may recognize that I have already done one tutorial using a couple of these scarves paired, and that is my birthday Shira Tails look, which I did with the Leaves Them Guessing and the Exotic Spice Shiny Licious. And so I'm not going to repeat that here. I'm just going to link to it in the description box below. But definitely that look is, which is one of the favorites that I've done in recent months, was very much an inspiration for coming up with this particular kit. So the second look, or the first for this video, that I'm going to show, I am going to be pairing the Exotic Spice Tickle with the navy and gold Israeli Tickle, because I really do think that Israeli Tickles are so terribly underrated for more advanced wrappers. I think a lot of us gravitate towards them in the beginning. So I am just going to do a pretty basic, I'm going to start with just a Regal wrap here, and I'm going to put it with an angled V at the front. And I also am doing all of this over my Wendy shaper. So that was one of the challenges when I was trying to come up with not just the kits, but also with looks that I would do using the kits, is to not pair the same grouping of scarves too many times, and also to really use the various shapers in my repertoire. And so I obviously have the birthday Shira Tails, where I used my mini Bobo. I'm going to use the Wendy for this one. I'm going to use a Cloud9 for the next look, and then my final look is going to have no shaper at all. So back to what I was saying about the Israeli Tickles, is that I think a lot of us gravitate to them as beginning wrappers because they're a little bit less intimidating. It's really easy to get a tidy look. You can really just fold it into a triangle, tie it on your head, and be good to go. And then as we start to learn more complex wraps, as we start to do more complex wraps with longer scarves, we kind of fall out of the habit of using them. They don't always feel as versatile. And so I really wanted to try and bring back a sense of that versatility. All right, and so especially over the Wendy, this guy is wrapping pretty short. I know I've said I do love the Sparklelicious scarves, but I do feel like they're not quite as long. They don't wrap as long as some of my other scarves. And so I actually, you know what? I'm going to redo this because I feel like I got it enough off center somehow. Yeah, that's not even. That is not even. I got it enough off center that it is actually going to cause problems, you know, and sometimes we can squeak through it with less than ideal circumstances, and sometimes there really is nothing better to do than to start over back from the beginning. So still a little bit off center, and I think that that is probably, yeah, that looks good. Apologies for not showing all of that. I don't figure that you need the super duper close-up of me trying to put my tickle on straight. And I'm gonna not tie it in a knot in the back, because that does tend to eat up some length, and especially going over the Wendy, I want as much length as I can possibly have. So I'm holding it here under my armpits. If I were not doing this on camera, I might stick it in my mouth. Whatever gets the job done. We are not proud over here. So folding in my raw edges, and let's try this one more time. So up and over, cross that V in the front. Make sure that we're staying relatively tidy here. And I am just going to tuck it in at the base of my neck, which is harder when you don't have a knot, but I think we're snug enough that we can make it work. Okay, and now for my second side, same deal. You all know how to do a Regal wrap. I have a tutorial on it. If you do not, it is really just that simple. One side up, other side up. Tuck in the tails where you can, whether that's in the pockets or just at the base of your neck. Wherever they fit in nice and tidy is what we are going to do. Okay, there we go. So I just have a nice, simple Regal wrap here over my Wendy shaper. We've seen this before. So what I'm gonna do now is I have my navy Israeli tichel, and I am going to, it's folded currently into a triangle, and so I am going to take the pointy bit and fold it up on itself and fold it in a couple of times until I have basically a long sash. And then I am going to bring that behind my head, and I want this now to be off center. And you can make this as broad or as narrow as you like. And I am going to now use my infinity clasp here, and I am going to do a method that I've seen on a couple of different videos and just loop it through there. Figure out where on my head I'd like this to sit. I like it a little bit higher like that. And then bring it underneath and pull through the loop right there. There we go. And once I have both ends through, can pull it nice and snug. And now you have options with these tails. So you can either continue to keep them flat, or what I think looks really lovely is to give a twist. And that just adds this extra texture. It makes it look like you're not just trying to conceal it, but really work with what you have. Okay, and then at the back of my neck, it just barely reaches. So I'm going to tuck it in right there. And then I am going to do the same thing. We're going to give that a little bit of a twist. Bring it back. And so I still have a pretty long ways. So after my initial twist here, I am going to try and flatten that out, make sure that my raw edges are folded under, and then bring that up and around and tuck it back in on itself, just under right like that. All right, so this is the first look for this video, the second of my kit looks, and here it is from the front, side, back, and the other side. So obviously you don't need to do this over a Wendy. You could do this over pretty much any shaper as long as you can do a Regal wrap. You can fuss around with the clasp a little bit more. But yeah, using the Israeli tickle as a sash I think is such a fun, versatile look. And with that, I am going to have a brief cut so I can do pictures, and for my Instagram, I'm going to do that in between every look so I don't have to do all of my wraps multiple times, and I will be right back, ready to start my next look. And I'm back for my next look. So I have switched into my Cloud 9. Again, you can do this with pretty much any sort of standard shaper. If you're going to do this over a Bobo type shaper, you might have a little bit more of a challenge with it, but I am going to be using now my Leaves Them Guessing and my Sari Sash to do a zigzag crisscross look. And so I am going to start with my Sari Sash, and I'm going to try and get it on my head as evenly as possible. Always the primary challenge. And put it on at an angle. And so obviously you do not need to cover this in the back. You cannot cover this in the back with just a Sari Sash. And then I'm going to put both my tails over here and just do one like little double check to see how they are. Okay, so this is my shorter end, which means that that is going to be the end that I bring up first. And now, same thing, I am going to put my Leaves Them Guessing on nice and evenly. And I'm also going to be mindful about how I fold it, because depending on where you fold it and how far down, you're gonna get different colors. And I think actually that I am going to fold it on the other side so that I am getting these colors towards the front of my head. That is one of the reasons why I really wanted to use this scarf as the base for my kits, because it's something that I talk about in the birthday Sheer Tales video, that because there are so many colors in this scarf and colors that I especially enjoy wearing, there are so many things that you can easily pair this with. There we go. And tie in a knot at the back of my neck. There we go. Both tails over here, and boom, look at how even. That is very nice. I'm very happy with that. Always the first trial with this particular style of wrap. All right, so now I'm going to take the shorter of my two ends, and you really do have options here if you want to fold it so that you're having the same portion of the Sari Sash showing. You could do that, or you could choose to have something else showing instead. And so I am definitely not going to run away from that gold. I think that is so pretty. Just like that. And then, where do I want to tuck that in? I'll do it right there, sort of in between the two tails and at the back of my neck. Snout coming up with, which end is a little shorter? Honestly, they are so even, I don't think it matters. And I am going to try and find something that is not green to really give that contrast. All right, so there's all those tans right there. I would love to have those showing as those comes up and over. Oh, and it's just more green right there. Well, you know, now let's try that again. I really did mean what I said when I said I did not want the green. All right, so that's a little bit more neutral. I do have this big green leaf right here by my face that is kind of hard to avoid, but that is okay. You know, sometimes you have plans, the scarf has plans, and I am only willing to fight the scarf for so long before I let it declare victory. All right. There's the next portion of my zigzag. Tuck that under. And now I have the final of my sari, and I think I'm going to go back to having this. Can I have that in front? No, we're going to do something different. I'm going to fold it a little bit and have just plain green coming up and over. That looks really pretty. And tuck it in. And last but certainly not least, I am going to have my final leaves them guessing edge. Really try and make sure I get maximum coverage. Bring that around, and this is long enough that I can just keep wrapping and tuck it into the pocket. And I also, one of the things that I love about doing this with the leaves them guessing is that it doesn't have any fringe. And so it is really easy to get that final tidy look. All right. So there we have it. There is my zigzag crisscross with my green sari sash and my leaves them guessing. And here it is from the front, and the side, back, and the other side. So I will be back momentarily with a different setup ready to do my third and final wrap of this video. All right. Third and final look. So for this one, I just have a velvet headband on. I have my hair in a bun, and I am going to be using my Israeli tichel and my sari sash, as well as my infinity clasp. So we are going to begin just putting the Israeli tichel on nice and evenly. I am not pleating at the front or anything like that. I usually would, just to take up a little bit of extra room, but in this particular case, I don't want it to overwhelm what we are about to do with the sash. So I'm just tying it at the back of my neck. Trying to make sure that it is nice and even with my two tails, and then I am going to very carefully tuck in my triangular tail at the base of my neck. I really want to make this as tidy and as flat as possible. And up and under, that goes. All right. One final tug, looking nice and snug in the back there. And now I am going to take my sash and I am going to bring it around the back of my head nice and evenly. And we are going to put this on turban style. So it's going to come up just like so. And in the front here, I'm going to cross it once, cross it twice, and then pull it nice and snug and bring it back down. So once I have done that, I'm going to cross it again in the back here, and I'm going to take the opportunity. So make sure that this is snug, that it's not sticking out any funny business at all. And then I am going to take these two ends and hold them under my arm, because I haven't actually tied off my sari sash. And then I am going to take it with my end here, and I am going to wrap them around each other in a rope twist, going backwards. Just like that. And so the tail of the Israeli tickle is a little bit longer, but that's okay. And then I am going to bring that up and pass it just behind where my little turban wrap is here, and then tuck that back underneath this sari sash as it goes around. And so if there's any sort of anything sticking out up here, we can fix that. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just give that a nice little rope twist, one around the other. And then I'm going to bring that up just like so and place it a little bit in the front here. Now I do have this little bit, and that is just enough that I'm going to use it to thread my little clasp on. Just like that. Figure out where I would like it to sit, and then take that edge and then just find somewhere to tuck it in. So I think I'm actually going to bring it underneath this little twist here and tuck it back in there. I do have a little bit of that poking out, but that is the whole look. So I thought that this was just such a pretty little look. You know how I love any time that I find a beautiful way to wrap without a shaper. I think this is one of them. And it's super light. You're not wearing a full-sized long scarf. All you have is the Israeli tickle and a sari sash. You could probably do this with a sari single as well, and it would look terrific. So here it is from the front, from the side, the back, and the other side. And if you notice that there's any lumpiness, you can just kind of tuck that under, especially with the Israeli tickle. You just find the back of that scarf and just tuck it in. Not a big deal. And that is it. So I really hope that you enjoyed this exploration of my kit based on the Leaves Them Guessing scarf. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, follow me over on Instagram. There were 2 more kits that I did not shoot today, and I may or may not do them in the future. You know, time and energy and your desires pending. So if you want me to do those, please let me know. And that's a wrap for me. Thank you so much for watching.